This is Desert Homestead Prepping. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. We have got some kind of weird weather pattern where some tropical moisture and heat has made it up here, and it is warm. It's like 45 degrees. Everything is melting. It is a muddy mess. But the chickens are pretty happy about it. So yeah, we're pretty happy. They started laying again. Coop is pretty nasty, kind of poopy, but that's okay. We'll get it cleaned up later on. So yeah, it's nice to get some eggs again. Getting 2 eggs, so it's nice to be getting some eggs again. We're getting 2 eggs a day. They must be comfortable and pretty happy. So I need to focus on getting these little guys a comfortable home. We need to build a much more professional, secure chicken coop. We want to have something more permanent, something that so the plan is I'm going to put it on skids so that I can move it when we need to. As we're developing this homestead, there's a great possibility for change. We have an idea to build the chicken run on the south side of our garden here, between the garden and the cistern. But you know, the way life is, we may change our mind in the future, and it'll be nice to be able to pull that chicken coop to a new location fairly easily. So that's the plan, and it'll be nice to make the chicken coop in a way where we can go and get the eggs without having to walk through it and all that. So that's my plan. I need to figure out where I want to build it because it's pretty muddy everywhere, but you know, I can pick the nicest area to start building, and then we can drag it wherever we're gonna have it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get focused on that. We're gonna get started on the floor. So my plan is to use 1.5 pallets. So we'll have a full pallet. We'll cut this one right down the center, right on the edge of that center 2x4, and attach it to that. And then these short 4x4s don't really have much of a use, so they'll be perfect for skids. I'll be able to, you know, cut the edges off so that they're shaped like a ski, and then I'll be able to just attach them so that we can pull this thing around without it digging into the ground. I got some long 3.5-inch deck screws that are gonna work pretty good to attach all this together, and yeah, I think it'll work out pretty good. So these screws are long, but they're not that long. They're not long enough to make it through. So we're gonna have to drill ourselves a channel kind of halfway through this. And that way we can get to a point where we can sink these in nice and secure. So I found a use for the creosote that we cleaned out of our stovepipes. Apparently it's perfect for waterproofing wood. It's used on railroad ties to you know, condition the wood so that it can be water resistant. So that's what I'm going to use. So what I did was I took some of the creosote juice that we'd been collecting, and I mixed it with some gear oil from my tractor. When I changed the oil, I'm just going to use a brush, and we're going to lather it all over this thing. So I'll let that soak in for a little bit while I take a break, and then we'll flip it over and we'll start putting the walls in place. Okay, so now we use some scrap plywood. We'll put a floor on there, and we'll start on the walls. So my plan is to use the door, one of the doors that we got off of Abby's cabin. Alright, so the way that I attached a full pallet and a half pallet is how I'm going to do the back wall and the roof. And except for I'm going to have to cut it down. So these are 5'9", so I'm going to cut it down to 5, and so that'll be about a 5-foot span on the back. On this side I'm going to do a full length, but I'm going to add a couple 2x4s on the bottom and the top that's going to give me the height I need to make that door fit. That's as far as I'm going to get today. Got to get some things all rounded up, get some firewood and all that. So it's time to get back at this. Still got quite a ways to go. Hopefully I can get most of this completed today. I say that all the time. Who knows how far we'll get. I mean, each day has its own new challenges. We'll overcome those challenges. They come along. So I need to focus on trying to frame this in. I've ran over a few different possibilities in my mind, and I believe that we got it figured out. So I'm going to get what I need. We're going to start framing it together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I need to have this L-shaped corner bracket that's going to give me the edge I need for the latch on that door to be able to latch on there, and also a backing so the door doesn't try to push backwards in and everything. So I'm going to figure out exactly where I need to cut this. I'm going to cut this right here. We're going to slide, I got 2 pieces, and we're going to slide it in, and in between the pieces of wood we'll nail it in place. So essentially we'll take this 2x4 and replace it with this and make a stub pallet, I guess. So for the length of the door, we have to have this wall just a little bit higher. We have to have, so we're going to put a 2x4 on the bottom of this, and that's going to make this just 1.5 inches taller, which is going to give us the height we need for that door. And then we'll put a 2x4 across the top and right along the side. That will be the outer frame for the door. Pretty good. So Okay, I got that wall. Now I got to put a 4x4 on this edge because of the hinges. I need some more meat for those hinges to screw into, and stability for that heavy door to hinge. And just the 2x4 is going to flex. It's just not going to work. So 4x4 is what we're going to need. Look at this. That's pretty cool. So that's a guy who lives out here locally, and he is hired by the ranchers to do some rounds and check on their cattle and all their land, making, you know, just checking, making sure everything's all in order. And it's a lot easier than riding your horse all over the place looking for your cattle and checking on everything. Pretty pretty fun, pretty neat. It's cool to have a guy like that. He just lives right out here locally and lands the plane right in one of his fields, and yeah, pretty neat. I'm not too happy with that. We're right on the edge of these planks, and these planks are just garbage. It could just easily snap right off, and this wall will be just flapping around. It's not going to be good. So I'm going to use this banding to attach it and secure it down. That way I know I got a good grab and a good hold on it. But before I start doing that, I'm gonna line up that front wall and do some you know, some similar things to kind of anchor it down while I work out all the details of lining it all up. Pretty good. All right, so now all these leftover pieces of cut off pallets, these 2x4s, I got 4 2x4s left on these that I can use. So I'm gonna pull these slats off of those 2x4s, and we're gonna use those to frame in the side here. I have some other 2x4s that I'm gonna have to use because 4 of them I don't think is gonna be quite enough. I'd like to have 6, the center one, just to have plenty of strength for these walls. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start pulling all these slots off of these 2x4s, and we're going to get them all cut to length. Alright, so I got some of these planks that are just going to be spacers. And I'm going to use some of these long deck screws to anchor these hinges. That way we can, you know, that it's just going to be nice and secure. Okay, not so bad. Okay. A little tight. Okay, so that is the framework for now. So this is as far as I'm gonna get for this go around. I gotta go back to work, so I gotta go back to town for a couple days, and then this weekend I'm not even gonna come back here. We got Super Bowl party, so we're gonna take advantage of my wife and Abby being back home or back at the house, and focus on getting her shop cleared out. So we're gonna focus on that, so I won't get back to this for another week. So in the meantime, I'm gonna have to turn it because the wind's gonna blow this way. I think the biggest regret that I have is I didn't put 3 skids on this. I should have put 1 on each side and just 1 in the center. So it's really tippy. This way, really good. So let me go ahead and turn it sideways, and then we'll be able to leave it like that while I'm gone. Give you guys a look around, kind of show you how I went about doing some of this. So this is all free material except for these screws. It's so very important to be able to use all this scrap lumber for good usable structures and projects. If I was to go and buy all the stuff for this, I mean, we'd be hundreds of dollars into it, if not even $1,000. I mean, and so the rest of what I'm gonna do to side this and frame it in is still gonna be free stuff. So so yeah, when I come back, I'll show you guys exactly how I'm gonna finish this up. So let me give you a look around. To save from having to use brackets, I've used these long screws, deck screws, to anchor in all of these in a toenail fashion. Same at the bottom. And you know, back here I just didn't have much meat to really hook onto, so we did put some deck screws through, but then the banding is going to make all the difference in anchoring that down. So, you know, of course it's anchored here, and then of course along here, so it's pretty secure. So down here I did use angle brackets to anchor it down to the floor. And then, since the door, the hinges were on the outside here, I don't know what I was thinking, but I needed to get some space between the hinges and this 4x4 to anchor it down. And so that's worked out pretty well. So then up top, I was able to anchor this into this 2x4 header with these long deck screws. So yeah, now inside here, I'm gonna make nesting boxes that are gonna go in an L, and that way we have enough space for, I think we're gonna try for 8 nesting boxes that are gonna go all the way around in an L. And then I'm just gonna create hatches in the back where we can open up that hatch and access the nesting boxes from the outside. Same on that wall as well. So yeah, that's as far as I'm gonna get this time. So next time you guys come back, I'll get this finished up. We'll haul it over to where we're gonna fence in the chicken run, get it in place, get it finished up. So yeah, you know, we appreciate you guys following us along. I mean, we're just average people, don't really have much money. We're just trying to make ends meet, trying to make some usable structures out of what we have laying around. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll catch you in the next one.